Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video that I'm very excited about. If you follow me on Twitter, then you already know that I wanted to do a video kind of about signs as some of my favorite books. Now, most of my books are young adult. Actually, all of them are young adult books, so I am sorry for that. You'll also notice I have central themes that I personally like over other things. A lot of the books that I have are kind of like about magic or about royalty. I don't know. I have a central like preference, I guess. I don't try to, but I do. Like a year ago, I was binging books from Barnes & Noble, so I went through like a bunch of books in 1 year. So I'm just going to do signs as some of my favorite books that I've read recently. Here are the book selections that I'm going to be using. So if you don't like, or you already know about these books and you don't like this video, just exit out now and I'll see you in my next video. But if you're interested, here we go. Now also, when I'm doing this specific video, I feel like you should also put emphasis on your moon, Mercury, and Mars. Now I'm saying that because moon is kind of how you feel. So one of these books with your moon sign might engage you more than like your sun sign. And then also Mercury is how you kind of retain information, the intelligence, the way you carry, the way that you receive information. So maybe your Mercury is in Leo and you need like a very dramatic kind of book to kind of stick with it. So I would suggest that you look at my book suggestion for Leo placements. And then lastly, if you look at your Mars, Mars is kind of your motivation, your attention span at times. So applying your Mars, did I say Mars or Venus? Oh man, I guess all four planets, I don't know, just whatever you feel resonates with you. Personally, I would still suggest you keep in mind your other planetary placements, not just your sun sign, when applying this video. This was like a 3-minute preface. Okay. Here we go. Shadow of Bright and Burning. I loved this first book. I don't think I bought the second book and I tried to read it, but I got kind of bored. I don't think my attention span was also as engaged as I was the first time around. I think I gave this one more of a fair chance. And this was like my favorite book of 2017. This was my favorite book. So like there's this elite society of sorcerers, which are kind of like wizards, and only men are in that society. But this girl who was like an orphan, I guess, has these like really fantastic powers, and so she gets selected to the society. But it's also kind of like a school of wizardry in a sense. Like it's like there's like a house that she has to stay in, and she's like around a bunch of guys, and there's a lot of like breakthroughs with sexist narratives that the author tries to incorporate. And there's just kind of like a focal point of like this girl coming into like a male-dominated society, trying to like find her place and find her balance when she was kind of told so much of herself was not really going to amount to much earlier on in life. So I would definitely say, but she's also like extremely powerful. She's like more powerful than most people, and she's also more powerful than she realizes. So I'm going to say that this book, A Shadow Bright and Burning, is my suggestion for Aries. I would also probably suggest this for Taurus too. I feel like Aries and Taurus are very kind of, they're passionate, they're driven, they're very powerful beings, but they are a lot more modest or like laid back than I feel like they give themselves credit for at times. Taurus is a lot more like calm and collected, and Aries is a bit more impulsive, but they both have this very like laid back mentality that kind of makes them more fly under the radar easier. I feel like Aries and Taurus, I'm giving this book A Shadow Bright and Burning to, because this is kind of a book about a person that goes into a society with a lot of talents but has to prove themselves over and over again and comes out kind of on top. And instead of like letting this kind of bother them or get them down, they refuse to let it get them down. They refuse to kind of back down from a challenge. And I feel like that is also very like Aries and Taurus energy, because this girl, this main character, is unafraid to be herself. She's kind of very self-assured in a way. She's very sassy, We're not given like a plain Jane boring character, which I love because I relate to people that aren't meek and quiet. I'm very loud, so I like loud characters. And yeah, so I'm giving Aries and Taurus as a book would be this. This is the best series that I've read in the past several years, I want to say, actually. This is Kresley Cole's Arcana Chronicles series. Now, if you have not read this series, I suggest you go read this series now. This is the first book, called Poison Princess. Now, this is kind of about like an end of the world series. Now, if you like tarot, or if you know anything about like tarot cards, all 12 cards embody different meanings, and they're also people in this book series. Like, each person kind of has arcana gifts, or like tarot deck gifts. So like one card would be one person, kind of, and they all like have to live over and over again, like a karmic energy. And this girl is kind of one of the like very powerful arcana cards, but she doesn't know it, and she's like at the end of the world. In this book, I think when you get into the first book, there's kind of I don't want to give anything away, but pretty much a bad guy has her, and he's going to hurt her, and she's getting all these flashbacks, and you're kind of in the perspective of like, this guy is going to, she's in danger, but there's a plot twist. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm gonna give this book to, this is more difficult than I thought it would be, Sagittarius and Capricorn. I feel like they're both very intelligent beings, and they're both very careful or cautious creatures, and so is the lead character in this novel. I feel like the main girl, what is her name? I forgot. I'm sorry. I suck. I think it's, oh yeah, Evie. The main girl is she kind of has like a very simple, mellow life before the end of the world. She wasn't the kind of person that gets wrapped up in what sounds good. She kind of needs to see facts to make judgments, and she's someone that really needs to understand all sides of something before she executes a decision. And I feel like Sagittarius and Capricorn are both very much like this, because like they need to get all the facts. Similar to Scorpio, they need to have all the facts. Phoebe is a very she's like a very intelligent person who can be gullible at times, but she's kind of a no-nonsense person. She doesn't take anyone's crap, and I feel like Sagittarius and Capricorn are both this way, because they don't really feed into people. They're not like a very shy or like accepting of BS kind of person, and that is the main character for this book by Kresley Cole. The Arcana Chronicles is definitely a book series, and this book in general, which is the first one, I recommend to Sagittarius and Capricorn, because I feel like they're going to identify with a lot of how she's so quick to call BS, quick to just stand her ground, quick to be like a strong, independent person who can make her own judgments and decisions without being told what to do or being dictated by anyone. Now, she has a big heart, and she really like genuinely cares about everyone. She cares very easily, but she can very quickly kind of go head to head with herself. She can kind of battle logic with compassion at times, and I feel like Sagittarius and Capricorn, over all the other signs, have the tendency of doing this as well. I have to give Strange the Dreamer to Pisces and Aquarius, because not only is it the most creative and dreamy book for Pisces, but it is the most unique and innovative book, I feel like, in the past 5 years that's come out, at least for young adults. So I have to give Aquarius this book as well. I'm not trying to continually do two signs that happen to be next to one another in this zodiac as a book. I'm really not. I think it's just like I can see similar qualities for one particular book that go with both. Anyways, so Strange the Dreamer, this is like pretty much, I don't even know how to describe this book. It's kind of like if you had to describe Inception to someone, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie with like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's just really hard. But this is like an alternate universe. This is a bookkeeper. It starts like in a library, this grand library. He like has to bookkeep. I don't know. And then he has these dreams where he's kind of like being able to see this girl, this creature. I forgot what kind of, it's like a blue creature, and those are kind of like in that society, they're like evil or wrong. I haven't read this book in like a year though. They make this like alliance, but they can only communicate in dreams when he's dreaming. They're actually communicating with one another, but it's like only when he's sleeping. And then he eventually goes to you know, face to face with her because she's in trouble. And oh no, she's like a god. She's like a god in the sky. I don't know. You just really have to read this book because this whole universe and like sensory detail overload and environment that it creates in this book specifically is so appealing. Not only for any sign, but just particularly for Aquarius and Pisces. I feel like there's a uniqueness and a sensitivity that will appeal to them above all. So if you don't read any other book this year, read this one, even though this one came out probably a year or two ago. Because like I said, I haven't read actual books in a year because I've been so busy with everything else. But yeah. And then my next book is one of my favorites. I'm trying to read the second one right now, but I literally bought it at the beginning of this year and I have not had time to read any of it. I tried to read like a chapter. I'm so disappointed in myself, but this is probably my favorite book of all time currently. I mean, of all time is Harry Potter, but of all time currently now is this book. And I'm going to give this book to Leo, Scorpio, and Gemini. I'm giving this book to all three because I know you're probably hearing this and you're like, those are all so different. How are you going to put all three unique signs in one book? Trust me, this is that book. So Leo and Scorpio give a very like dramatic and intense kind of energy that I feel is very much carried throughout this book, as well as like a playfulness, that a lot of intelligence and light-hearted yet critical thinking is used throughout this book, where Gemini comes to play. So I'm going to give all three signs this book, and I love this book. It's my like one of my favorites. If you don't like this book, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so Caraval, so pretty. Look at this. I wish I had like one of those fancy cameras where I could like zoom in, but I don't. I'm using my phone because I'm about that life. So this book is so beautiful. I feel like there's such a like 1800s, 1600s vibe. Maybe it starts that way. Maybe it is based in the 1800s. I'm not actually sure because I don't retain information very well or often. Gemini, Mars. But this book kind of starts where like these two sisters are like in an aristocratic society. They're very sheltered. Their mother passed away, and they get this like almost like a message in a bottle or something about this very like enchanted fair, or like carnival, get it, carnival, like that travels like through towns, and it's very exclusive to get into. Like you cannot get in, not anyone can just go whenever they want to. You have to be invited, and they randomly get selected and they go, and it's kind of like very haunting. There's like this very like eerie vibe about it, but it's all very enchanting as well. I don't really know how to like describe it. I just feel like there's like a mystery. There's like oh, the sister goes missing. The sister goes missing, and then the other sister has to find her. And then like the whole time they're getting riddles, and you know, it's kind of like everything is very like sparkly and enchanting, but it's very dark as well. And this whole vibe is very Leo, Scorpio, and Gemini. I'm saying that because you need to like there's a lot of like haunting playfulness about the antagonist, I want to say, but the antagonist is also like lighthearted and extremely intelligent, which I feel like Gemini people will enjoy. And it's also very dramatic, but intense, and there are facts, but there's also a lot of beauty. There's so much, like, the word for this book is like you're mesmerized, I guess. And Scorpio and Leo both, I feel, will be able to like genuinely relate or at least find this enjoyable. But yeah, it's just, this is the best book ever. I don't know. I'm sorry. I am not a book reviewer. I am an astrologer. So this book, I don't actually remember much about this book, but I know that I loved it. It was like, this girl, I guess, has to go and kind of like battle for like the royal court. I guess people get selected to battle, or I don't know if it's battling or if it's just like some kind of contest that the king makes you do. I'm pretty sure it's like battling. I'm pretty sure it's like some gruesome championship. They're prisoners. It's like a frost society, frozen society. There's like an ice king or an ice prince. And this person is like one of the last, or one of like these rare fire blood people, I guess, like fire, and she's in like in a society for like ice. And it's this very intelligent and sarcastic and bold kind of girl. I remember just loving this protagonist. She was very relatable, but she was very cunning. She was someone that like had a lot of heart, but she was kind of she wasn't very quick to show that. And even though this gives me a lot of fire energy, I really have to say that this book would be for Virgo and for Virgo, I guess just Virgo, yeah. I guess I would just give this book to Virgo because it's a very, like, this person is unafraid of anything, and they're going through a really tough time throughout this book. Like, everything that could possibly go wrong is going wrong, but they use their natural skill sets and things, and they're able to pull themselves out of situations. There's also a romance that I'm not going to give too much away, but also, before you hear the word romance, know that this book predominantly isn't even about the romance, so you're not going to be kind of drowned in it. It's very subtle, and it's mostly just about a girl in a society who shouldn't be there, is kind of discriminated against, or extremely discriminated against, because of something that I can't really disclose because you'll have to read the book, and kind of comes out on top. I don't want to say anything that's going to give the book away, but I feel like this book is going to be very appealing for Virgo because Virgo people, like the lead character in this book, are kind of ruthless in a sense, but they have a lot of heart and they have a lot of drive, and it's very hard for them to back down even when the odds are against them. So I feel like because of that, you will like this book if you have Virgo qualities, I want to say. Last book I'm giving to Cancer and Libra. Now, I don't like the rest of this series. If you're reading this book and you think that the rest of the series is going to be promising or good, it won't be. It's garbage. Throw the rest of the series away. Just read the first book, close the first book, you know, digest it, and just be like, I had a good run, and then throw it away, because it will disappoint if you read further. Just so don't waste your coin on the rest of the series. But the first book, I understand why the series became so successful, because the first book really set you up for failure. No, I'm just kidding. It was the best book. It was one of my favorites. It's like about a romance. I think it's like a forbidden romance. I really don't remember. I just remember that it was very romantic and emotional, as well as very I suck at this. It was very sweet and kind and caring about her loved ones, but she would do anything for them. But it's like about like love being an infection, but she got infected. I don't know, it's very romance based, but I feel like Cancer and Libra placements will strongly appeal to at least the first book, not the rest of the series, because the rest of the series is garbage. Because it's just such a whimsical kind of atmosphere, very sensitive, very romantic and sweet, and I feel like that is kind of the ambience or like the mood Cancer and Libra probably would enjoy or at least appreciate when going into a recreational book reading. Overall, that completes this video. I believe I covered all 12 signs. If I didn't, I suck. And let me know if you read these books. Let me know if you have a placement that I suggested should read a book that I prescribed to that placement. Let me know if you agree with me if you read those books, and let me know what you think about the books. I love talking about books, so I will love reading your comments. And maybe even if you want to suggest me a book similar to Garble, I would love that. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn that notification bell on, and I will see you in my next video. The first book, I believe, called... Why are you doing this?